Exercise number 3 allows us some experience with the cotangent function. So we've got the cotangent of 3, and we want to evaluate that. So a couple things to note. First is that this 3 is not a degree. This is a radian. So whenever they don't specify, we assume radian. Now if there's a little degree symbol up here, then obviously it's degrees. But we don't have that, so we're working in radians. So we know cotangent is the reciprocal of a tangent. So I'll write that down. Now this one we can't as easily evaluate without having use of a calculator. So let's go ahead and grab a calculator. Here I've got my TI-83. Clear off the screen. Now we need to make sure that the mode that we're working in is radians, which here if you look, let's pull it back up. Here if you look it is. Okay, so I'm working right here in radians, so we'll leave that. So hit second, mode, quit out. Now I need to evaluate the tangent at 3, or specifically 1 over the tangent at 3. A couple ways you can do this. We could do tangent of 3 and hit enter, and then we could take 1 and divide it by that answer, or you could directly go 1 divided by the tangent of 3. So for 3 radians, we get a tangent value, a cotangent value of -7, roughly. So write that up here. And that's it. That's all we got to do. So again, this one can't be evaluated using a unit circle because 3 radians is not easily known. Don't make the following mistake. So let me point out a mistake that gets made. Students see 3 and they immediately put a pi next to it because they assume that with a radian measure, you need a pi. Okay, so the mistake that students make is they go like this. They go, okay, cotangent 3, it must be in radians, so we're going to go 3 pi, like that, and then they start evaluating from there. So let's think about the way the circle works. 3 radians. Well, that's really close to 3.14 radians, which is pi radians. And we know pi radians is half a revolution. So there it is. That's pi radians. So 3 radians must be very close to pi radians, so just a little bit less. So if we look at that angle, it's going to look something like that. What is 3 pi? Well, 3 pi is the following. It's around here, and then back to here. So you can tell that these angles are definitely different angles. You might say, well, they're not by much. They're pretty close to each other. Let's think about this. How far away is 2 radians? So let's go. If I asked for something like the cotangent of 2, this is a more stark contrast between that and the cotangent of 2 pi. Well, 2 radians, if you think about where that falls on the circle, okay, that's at about 114 degrees or so. So that one falls right about here. Okay, so that's that angle right there. What is 2 pi? Let's grab a different color. I'll grab blue here. 2 pi is 1 revolution around. So you're looking at that flat angle right there. So there's definitely a difference. So between this and this, don't make the mistake. Don't automatically throw a pi in just because you see a number and, you know, an angle value and it's in terms of radians.